Hello, hello everybody, welcome in. We just saged, I just have my sage bowl here, clearing myself before I do a reading, because I have had a very, I don't even know how to finish that statement, but I've been going through it. Hello, hello, welcome in. So, I cleared myself, I cleared my space as far as good practice, good housekeeping when doing this work. But y'all can see, like, damn. Tired, but we're gonna do it. Here we are. This is a really wonderful, really feel-good, positive message for somebody. As I always say, take what resonates and leave the rest. You're gonna know as we start sharing this content if this is your reading or not. Okay, so let's hope it lands. So we have the Aries element here. This is the male Aries. See the king of the castle right there and all the heads like kicking ass, taking names. You see the smoke, the smoldering battlefield. This came out sideways, so we're going to honor that. I don't know if you guys have had experience with other tarot readers, but I honor everything down to like the direction of the tarot cards. So to me, an additional layer is we need a little bit of direction on which way we're still trying to go. Like we're not going up, we're not going backwards, or we're not going forward, we're not going backward, but there's a little bit of lack of clarity still as far as your home and like how you're taking care. Because again, this is home. See this? He's like, I am the king of my castle. Something to do with providing. There's still a little bit of like fuzziness in the details of how you're going to move forward with some aspect of your life. I know that's a very general, broad kind of an umbrella statement, but we'll get more specific as we unpack the rest of the cards. 19, more fire, Leo. Leo energy. That's why the lion's in there to remind me this is Leo, and that's why the color is like fire. There's a celebration. So this is like a battle that you've been chipping away at. You've been incrementally taking steps and progressing incrementally. What a great word, because that's exactly what this is. It's like you are doing something, you are creating something. And I'm just going to throw it out there, but it's like generational wealth. Somebody here has been putting in the work, putting in the time, putting in the hours, the sweat, the tear, the pain, the struggle, right? And the victory is yours. This message this morning is a reminder or just some kind of validation for whoever needs to hear it. If you're here looking for a yes or a no or validation, am I going the right way? What the fuck am I doing? The answer is yes. Good things are coming your way. I could be speaking to a divine masculine, so that would be a male. You don't have to be Leo or Aries for this message to apply. Shit, you could be one of my earth zodiacs. You could be a Pentacle, so you could be a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. That in itself, again, another layer, when you break down the elements of the earth zodiacs, earth elements are the slower moving zodiacs. Just think for a moment, if you know anybody in your life that's an earth sign, they generally tend to be a little bit more grounded, more stable in how they approach, how they think, how they respond, versus a fire sign, which we tend to react like a water sign, depending on the situation. So the element of this is like, you are steadily, it's like steady, steadfast. You are slowly, incrementally working towards something. The king is like the elder. He is the wise, the wizard, the one that it's like the knowledge keeper. I was like, what am I trying to say? The knowledge keeper, but it's like somebody who is so solid in their groundedness. I'm not sure if that's a word, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to honor it in your groundedness. It's like somebody here who's really, really been focused on something. And I want to say again, it could be finances. Pentacles touch on the themes of your financial situations. Now that could be something in the legal system. It could be contracts. It could be proposals. It could be something to do with some kind of a contract around a house. Maybe you're selling a house. Maybe you're coming into some kind of money. It could be inheritances. It could be in the crypto market, Bitcoin, tokens and things like that. It could be that kind of currency. Maybe somebody here trades in the market. I don't know. But there's something here about finances. It could be just literally the work field. Maybe somebody here is really focused financially on an aspect of a project that is connected to money. Maybe you're an IT person and you're building something, okay? So the good news, again, this is a really feel-good message, and I'm just like, thank God, because we've been getting a lot of contrast through the tarot the last couple of weeks. So for whoever needs to hear this, the answer is yes. Wonderful, a wonderful shift, an upward swing in the fruits of your labor, the time you have invested. Something here about you are creating financial abundance and generational wealth. That needs to be said for somebody here. Needs to be said. Somebody needs to hear that. So generational wealth again. So as the king energy, kings are the elders. They're the older energies. Somebody who has been in a situation long enough to see shit coming down the line before anybody else even starts to get a whiff of the smell of like shit's about to hit the fan. I know that was a little bit dramatic, but I don't know how else to quite say it. It's like the kings can see, they can forecast, right? And that's also the earth element. So as we started to say before, but I kind of went this way on a tangent. The zodiacs of the earth, the pentacles are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Those are my planners. They're very strategic. They're very methodical in the sense of like, everything needs to be accounted for. We need to make a list and then make a list of the things that we've crossed off, right? Methodical. You're very calculated. And that's not a bad thing, especially when it comes to your fucking money. When you're talking about your money and keeping track, bookkeeping. You need to know what's going out, what's coming in. Do you have overhead? Do you have expense? So it's like there's something here about somebody has been very much putting a lot of time implementing their knowledge, their wisdom, and their experience into something. You've been pouring it into something. And again, it could be your home. It could be a home project. As I said, I could be speaking of a contract. Maybe somebody here is waiting on a contract to come through. Maybe somebody here is trying to sell their house and they're waiting for the bank to fucking hurry up and get the paperwork done or something like that. But, I'm just reading my notes about kings stand in for other people in your life that can aid you. So if I'm not speaking to somebody here who is directly tied into this story, I could be speaking to somebody that's going to be coming in or standing in. As I said before, could be maybe like a lawyer. It could be somebody, an accountant. It could be, somebody behind the scenes helping financially with whatever this situation is. Okay. So I want to break away from the finances because I feel like we've talked about that quite a bit. Like, yes, this is a feel good situation about finances, value, you're producing value. There is a level of like prudence, as I said before, with the earth elements. And I don't mean prudence like you have a silver spoon up your ass. Like, I mean prudence, it's like intelligence. Like you're very intelligent about how you're going about handling this and taking your time. That needs to be said for somebody who's here, left, or somebody who's coming in. There's something here about don't rush this process. Please take your time. That is the recommendation. Okay, that is a suggestion. You can't rush legal matters. You can't rush contrast. These things take the time that they take. But again, the other side of that coin is, but if you are dealing with the earth elements are like, well, let's go ahead, let's get our books out and let's start documenting. Okay. So again, being diligent, keeping track of the details. You are creating something generationally here that's going to impact, could be your family. It could be your community. Right? We need to think bigger than just ourselves. It's like you may be doing something within a workplace. Maybe you're creating something bigger scale within a workplace. And you've been really fighting about it. You've been really pushing something, demanding, commanding, enforcing change of some kind, right? Again, this is like large and in charge. I have two cards here that are like large and in charge energy. This is why when I made this, I kind of tried to make it look like a beefcake, like a bodybuilder, whatever, right? Stereotypical, put that to the side. But what I'm saying is like large and in charge. There's somebody here that like knows their shit. They're like, I know what I'm talking about. Again, king energy. I have refined myself in my experience enough to know that, hey, I can pursue this business venture. If this is a business venture or some kind of investment, as I already said, finances, I know enough to know that this is how we have to be as far as focus. This is where we need to allocate the money. This is where we need to allocate the tasks. Again, I feel like we're really talking about some kind of a business thing because that's just the verbiage that's coming out of my face at the moment. Pentacles, I do need to also honor the other themes that come through with Pentacles is your well-being. So Pentacles don't just deal with finances, but they deal with your well-being. How are you taking care of yourself? How are you not taking care of yourself? Right? I mean, shit, bags under bags here. How could you be better taking care of yourself, right? Implementing a better balance. And then the last thing that comes in with the Pentacles is the materialistic thing. So now we're kind of flirting with that financial part of the conversation again. It's like your house. It's the assets. It's the stuff. It's like your toys, like your four-wheelers or your snowmobiles or your fancy cars or your boats or whatever it is that you have. It's the stuff. So again, we're talking here about somebody is really taking off. Okay, so that is the King of Pentacles, kind of dominating, right? As we said, dominating this reading because that's just the energy. It's large and in charge. The king is here. He ain't going anywhere. It's kind of like you've arrived. Somebody here has arrived at some critical transitional part of your life. You've arrived. And that's worth celebrating. So now we're jumping up to the Leo. Leo has to do with self. As I said, we are trying to think larger than self as far as going beyond just yourself. You're thinking of like family, friends, community. It could be work. But there's something here about radiance, successful, joy, abundance, making time, taking things to the next level. So somebody here could be taking things to the next level as far as their finances and how they're expressing themselves and how they're living their life. That is the reading. That is the reading. As I said, it's kind of very positive, very geared toward finances and stability, foundation. I'm looking for 4. The Emperor, Aries card. This is about fatherly energy. There's an opportunity here. Somebody who's always going to be there when you need them. So again, now I'm speaking to the person. I'm speaking to the characteristics or the mannerisms, the personality traits of this divine, large and in charge energy. I was mostly before talking about the situation, and now we're getting a little bit more personal with the personality. So what this could look like, who could this be? This is somebody who could be a father. This could be an uncle. This could be a grandfather. This could be a cousin that is like a father. So again, take those roles and switch them however that it resonates for you guys. But it is a fatherly energy, a protector, right? The protector. Somebody who, as I said in the very beginning when we started shooting, somebody who kicks ass and takes names. It's like somebody who always shows up when you need them. They're reliable, like the earth sign. The earth signs are known for their loyalty. They're very loyal, right? They're very disciplined. Well, this Aries energy is also very much very disciplined in the sense that where they're super focused, they're cutting out distractions. They're like, nope, not today. Like, right, just hyper vigilant, like tunnel vision. Okay, that is this card, which I think is beautiful because it speaks to this energy. So I am speaking to a divine male. And again, even if you're female and you're here, maybe it's your husband I'm talking about, or maybe if you're a younger woman and maybe it's your brother I'm talking about, or maybe it's your uncle. Or okay, so I am touching on, there's a divine male here who is definitely paving the way, creating a wonderful foundation financially for his family. And things are going to be on the up and up, right? Again, think bigger picture, dream, plans. This person is taking they're taking a vibration of thought and they're manifesting it into physical reality. That's pretty powerful shit. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. This is a great reading. I hope this landed with you guys. I hope it resonated. And if it didn't, well, it's okay. We do this almost every day. So we're bound to land on a theme that resonates and speaks to you all. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with me on a Saturday and spending some time with me. And again, I hope this resonated at the very least. If it didn't, it just got you thinking. So I'll see you guys next time. I probably should go take a nap, rest my face. All right. In love and light. Be well, everybody. Take care.